Welcome back. It is exactly 13 after 12 o'clock, and that time of the day when we talk about the miraculous TIBB black seed. We have been covering this from the beginning of Ramadan, and reason being, it is really a miraculous or a magical black seed. It has so very many benefits, and we're going to further talk about its other health properties. So, online today, we have the corporate trainer and a representative at TIBB Health Sciences. He is Riyaaz Khan. He's based in KZN. And once again, lovely talking with you. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum salam. Jazakallah for having me again.
Always a pleasure talking with you. So, we're going to be talking about the magic of the black seed. So, let's just kick off right away. I presume this is going to be the last week we're talking because we are in the final days of the Mubarak days of Ramadan. And we also make dua, inshallah, that Allah showers us with the mercies and blessings of Laylatul Qadr.
I mean, yes. This
And
month has flown by so fast.
absolutely,
It's amazing.
absolutely.
It's amazing, but it's sad at the same time.
True, very mixed emotions, very, very
Mm,
mixed emotions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of our ibadah, all of our efforts. And we do hope that on the other side of Ramadan, we will have at least learned something out of this Mubarak month and better our lives in however small or big way that Allah has, deemed for us. So inshallah, Allah accept all du'as. Riyaaz
I
Khan,
mean,
welcome to the program. Lovely talking with you again. So, we've been asking so many different questions around this magical black seed. And I think one of the areas we haven't talked about yet is apart from the Islamic significance, has there been any other historical uses for black seed?
there's a black seed actually has a very rich history in terms of its uses and who it's been used by and how it was discovered. I mean, if you look back to the Egyptians, they were obviously they regard pharaohs as the rulers of the time, and the pharaohs of the time actually revered black seed so much is that when they were put in their tombs after death, the black seed was actually included in their whole mummification process. There's been a lot of archaeological digs that have showed where they found black seed inside the tombs. And then sticking with the whole Egyptian theme, you have people like Queen Nefertiti as well as Cleopatra, where there's been documented use of black seed in their beauty regimes, and we all know how Cleopatra was apparently so into her beauty and all of that with all her different masks and milk baths and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, history is or black seed is on the positive side of history in terms of its cosmetic uses. And the thing is, if they were able to recognize the benefits 3,000 plus years ago, how come we're just only touching the benefits now?
Awesome, awesome indeed. We've spoken about the internal benefits of black seed. Are there any external benefits, external usage, which will enhance perhaps, our issues, whatever they may be regarding external use?
So there are lots of uses. It's very important to understand that, remember, whatever we do actually apply externally, like if we were to apply it on our skin, it does end up inside us. It does get absorbed through the skin and gets used and metabolized in the body for all those lovely benefits. But the difference is if it's applied externally, there are a lot more benefits. For example, skincare. The black seed can be applied directly to the skin to take care of your inflammatory skin conditions. So if people who are struggling with poor skin health, black seed oil can actually help with that. There's numerous benefits where it's been shown to improve sorry, I'm just going to look at my notes here. It's been shown to improve acne, dermatitis, psoriasis, eczema, people that have excessive scarring, and dark marks and all of that. Black seed actually helps to rejuvenate the skin and assist with wound healing. So that's just one way to use black seed externally on or directly on a problematic skin area to help to bring out the best. Um, then there's also other benefits. Even if the skin isn't troublesome, you could use black seed on its own, like externally again. Over a period of time, it'll actually help to improve the health of your skin. And when I say that, I'm talking about anti-aging, helping to improve the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. I'm not sure if you remember, but we discussed some of the nutritional benefits of it. And because it has those essential fatty acids, it helps to work with the skin's natural fatty substances and oils to help prevent moisture loss. So it helps with hydration. Um, there's so many uses that we can use
So,
black seed.
yeah, when we talk about the black seed oil, there's just the one standard oil that is produced by your organization. So that's the one miraculous oil that
Yep, yep.
does the
So
work. As you speak, what comes to mind for me is tissue oil. So, the suggestion here is that it's equal, if not better, than tissue oil because you're talking acne, you're talking scarring, you're talking wrinkles and fine lines. But because it's an oily substance, I presume this should be applied at night.
yes, yes, ideally yes, because obviously you want to give it the longest time to settle in the skin without affecting your day-to-day life. Also, and I must put this out there, the oil isn't the best smelling or tasting. So I don't think you'd want to be going out in public smelling of the oil. But yeah, there's this. I mean, in terms of you could combine all of these oils. So there's a lot of different combinations you can use with other essential oils and create your own stuff. Like for example, I think the simplest mask that the ladies or even the men can use at home is a honey yogurt black seed oil mask. So you just combine them, and you'll find that it's quite soothing and cooling to the skin as well. So yeah.
Okay, so the oils obviously does address a lot of skin problems. We talked about acne, we talked about scars. It does help probably diminish very pronounced scarring on the skin. We've talked about wrinkles and fine lines, but I understand that it's also recommended for eczema, for psoriasis and dermatitis. And I presume
Yes.
intensive studies have been done in your laboratories to prove these results.
Yeah, so there's a lot of clinical evidence out there showing the improving of these skin conditions. While there isn't a one size fits all kind of treatment, I mean, you look at even if you look at mainstream healthcare, what works for me may not necessarily work for you, or what works for you may cause a flare up for me, so there isn't a one size fit all thing. So I think at this point I must put out a small disclaimer. We've been saying it's a miraculous herb and oil and stuff, but it's not going to produce miracles overnight. So this now, obviously, when it comes to skincare, it's something that requires consistent and long-term use. So if you are consistent and you use it regularly, then you will definitely see the improvement in your skin health. But in terms of those inflammatory skin conditions, for the eczema, your black seed, remember we discussed its very potent anti-inflammatory benefits. And that's basically helping to calm down or to get rid of that irritation that's causing that inflammation. And then it helps to restore your skin barrier function as well as moisturizes and preventing dryness. So everything that we mentioned already, it's kind of taking care of all of these conditions. And then because we know psoriasis is a slightly more medical condition, your black seed actually helps to modulate the immune response to these flare ups. So sometimes it's our own system that actually causes these exaggerated flare ups. And black seed is able to help to calm down the immune system in terms of reducing those flare ups. And then with the wound healing, and it also helps to support or soothe and reduce that scaly kind of effect.
I think we spoke over the weeks about the vapor rub as well.
Yes.
And I'm thinking people now, with the onset of autumn and winter, we're going to be exposed to lots of coughs and colds and flus, etc. My
Mm.
understanding about the vapor rub was, you'd use it like you'd use other vapor rubs on the chest, on the back, under the feet, etc. But does the vapor rub also work for muscular aches and pains? Can it
Yes.
do that dual function?
Yes, it definitely does. It even states it on the packaging for muscular pains. So obviously now as we're going into winter, our patients or customers that struggle with joint issues and mobility issues, they would be able to use the rub on its own. But also you find that because of the potency of the black seed oil, you could use the oil itself on those achy joints and muscles as well, um, to help to improve the joint pain and the inflammation. The vapor rub is an amazing product, but it doesn't contain as much of the oil as what you would normally use. So if you're just taking out a small 50 cent or 20 cent amount from the tube, from the vapor rub, the quantity of the oil in that small amount isn't going to be as potent as using the oil itself. So we would recommend a combination of the two. Um, Ideally, if you're looking at just improving the circulation and all of that for the muscles, definitely the vapor rub, because in there you have your menthol, the eucalyptus oil, the camphor, as well as the black seed and the cinnamon, nutmeg, all of those lovely oils in there. That's going to help to improve circulation and create warmth and heat. So the vapor rub would be amazing for that. If you're just looking for inflammation and a bit of pain relief, then the oil can also do that too.
Okay, I know I touched on this earlier on. I asked about scientific evidence supporting the use of black seed, either in an oil form or whatever form. But specifically, let's look at the skincare and hair care industries, or for people wanting
Yes.
to use it in those areas. How would it
Mhm.
assist with hair care?
So again, in terms of the hair health, I think if you've walked up and down the aisle in most of your stores, you'll find that there is your traditional hair care, your chemical-based hair care, as well as a whole lot of hair products that contain natural ingredients. And with that, now we're seeing a lot of shampoos and and basically hair products that contain black seed. So remember, again, when it comes to the hair game, uh, circulation is the most important thing. And if there isn't enough circulation or blood going to those follicles, then obviously growth doesn't happen the best way possible. And now with black seed going in there, black seed can actually help with improving that hair circulation. It helps with you can use it directly on your hair and massage it in to obviously stimulate the area and get blood flowing to there. Or you could even include it in with your shampoo. So a few drops into your normal shampoo, and every time you wash your hair, you're getting some of the benefit of the black seed oil in your hair. And so yeah, so people that are struggling with hair growth or unexplained hair loss, then black seed is something that they would be able to use to improve that overall. Again, but again, it's a long process. It doesn't happen
Long term.
overnight.
Long term.
We have to give it its proper chance to work. I mean, so often, and I think we're all guilty of it. We try something, we'll finish the first bottle. If we haven't seen results, then we move on to something else. But it was probably that second bottle that was going to give you the head of hair that you wanted. So we do have to stick with it for a while before we see the best results that we want.
Do you see black seed oil becoming more prominent in the beauty industry in the near future?
Definitely, yes. I think, like I mentioned, we are just basically on the tip of all the benefits for black seed, and we are every day we're learning new and new things. I think medicine in itself is coming full circle in the sense that we knew what we knew, but now in order to venture out into stuff we don't know, we are going more into the natural space, and that's where all our natural ingredients are thriving, and black seed is definitely on the at the top of that, well, especially for us. I mean, just in terms of skin health, you're looking at people using antioxidants like vitamin C in their serums and in their oils, and then even your glutathione. Those are basically all antioxidants. And at the end of it all, black seed is also an antioxidant and a very potent one at it. So there's a lot of gaps, or there's in the marketplace for black seed to actually take its place and show its superiority.
Let's talk about the black seed capsules and the immune boosters, etc. Is
Mm.
there a risk that people could um, get adverse reactions to it? And when I talk overdose, I'm not talking in the regular sense of toxic medication. If you overdose on that, there is a chance of you becoming very ill or possibly dying. But with black
Hmm.
seed products, let's assume one of those people that just feels if I double the dose of my immune boosters, etc., or triple the dose, take it 3 times a day or longer, that I'll get quicker results. But can that cause some form of an adverse reaction in the person?
We haven't had any reports of those types of overdoses, or where taking higher doses of black seed cause most issues. Um, it depends what condition you're actually looking at treating, but we've got dosages that go up to about 2 grams a day in terms of black seed, and our capsules are standardized to 450 milligrams. So for you to overdose on black seed, it must be quite a high dosage. For example, we recommend half a teaspoon to a teaspoon a day of the oil. An overdose of that could be a tablespoon or two. And generally, the most common adverse effect you'll have is probably just a bit of diarrhea. There hasn't been any toxic effects that have been discussed or found, and we haven't seen any of those with our black seed. But I think when it comes to medication, and this is just a little bit of general talk, less is always more. I mean, if we just think back to the times of COVID, where people were taking vitamin C and in high doses, the studies have shown that vitamin C in high doses is poorly absorbed. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's up to 180 to 250 milligrams, you're getting about 90% absorption. Up to 500 milligrams, you're getting 70% absorption, and up to 1,000 milligrams, you're getting about 50% absorption. And beyond that, it's less than 1,000. So if you remember the COVID days when people were taking 2,000, 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day, they were probably getting a fraction of that actually absorbed into their systems. Obviously, it was doing wonders for their mind and putting their mind at ease, but medically or medicinally, it wasn't really doing too much for them. So yeah, so I think we remember the shelves were were empty. The only thing was that was on the shelf was maybe the 250 and maybe some 500 milligrams, but all the 1,000 milligrams were taken, when those are actually better for you. I mean, you could take a 500 milligram twice a day and get 70% of that being absorbed. So that works out to what, 700 milligrams per day, as opposed to taking the 1,000 milligram once and getting 500 milligrams, so half of it absorbed. So yeah,
Okay,
so
thank
less
you.
is
Thank you for
So
that.
yeah.
Thank you very much for that. Let's wrap up now. Final question: where do you see the future of black seed? Natural ingredients and black seed, not only in skincare, hair care, but other areas of our lives as well.
So, like I mentioned, there's a lot of uses for black seed internally, and that's where we're looking at treating conditions, boosting your immune system, helping with digestion, helping with all your chronic conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, all of those things. Um, and I think as we get further into the research, we will definitely be finding more and more uses for black seed. I think I did mention a while ago that black seed actually has something called a tumor necrosis factor, which basically actively fights your cancer cells. So that would be a nice avenue to explore in terms of how black seed can assist with actually improving cancer health and or reducing the chances of cancer.
That's it for us this morning. Lovely having you on the show. You go well, and I've got to give this miraculous black seed a try, definitely. But Riyaaz Khan, corporate trainer and a representative at TIBB Health Sciences, thank you for your deep insights on the miraculous black seed. Go well, keep us in your duas, enjoy the balance of the final days of Ramadan. May Allah bless us all, accept all of our efforts during this month. And Allah be with you. Assalamu
I
alaikum.
mean, wa alaikum salam, jazakallah. Thank you so much for having me.
It is exactly 12:34. This is the mid-morning show. We're moving along. Time once again to take another ad break, and then we will be wrapping up by talking with Tabang Makua. He is an LLB graduate and is going to talk about the unemployment crisis that nobody wants to talk about. All of that coming up in a minute or two.